Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, your host, and this week I am talking all about distraction and commitment and what that could mean for you and your business. So let's go to the show.
As the founder of the Landscapers Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time, and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business, and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing, and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business, or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello, lovely people. Welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, and like I said, this week I'm talking a bit about distraction and commitment and what that can mean for you and your business. But anyway, before we get into that, how are we all doing? It's been a bit of a busy week here, trying to get to grips with some tech as we've got the new VA, Maya, who started, which is really exciting, but new systems to put into place. As with any of us who have new staff or subcontractors coming on board, there's a certain element of getting ready and getting things in place. So that's quite an exciting but very stressful part of the week. Probably see my bags if you're watching it on YouTube here. So yeah, that's quite exciting. And essentially, I think tonight I found a new software that I can use for all things TLC, one software all in one place, which will take the complete stress away. And as a tech, I am no genius at tech. In fact, I hate tech. This seems like a answer to all my prayers. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys because yeah, it's just quite exciting. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying October. Let me know how you're doing with inquiries and business this month, because yeah, it's been interesting. We've got some really good conversions happening at the moment in terms of clients that are sold and are going into the books, obviously. But yeah, inquiries have lowered, but I would say they're probably slightly better. So quality potentially has increased a bit. So it would be great to know what your thoughts are if you are a designer or landscaper and you want to share. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. So I was thinking about distraction. Basically, I listened to quite a good podcast and they mentioned distraction, but in a different way, and also commitment and how this can affect your business. Now, this could be quite triggering for a few of you, so be prepared. And also it will get you to reflect on your business and how you are living your life. So again, be prepared because it can certainly open your eyes to things. So distraction in the first instance, it can be anything really, but essentially we allow distraction to our lives way too easily. I am certainly guilty of this, so don't think by me talking about it that's because I'm perfect. I'm absolutely not. I get distracted a lot. Now, I get distracted mainly because I allow myself to be distracted, and that comes down to boundaries, which if you go to a previous podcast episode, I talk about that. I talk about setting boundaries and why that's so important. But essentially, distraction is everywhere. So distraction comes in the forms of keeping your emails open and notifications going. So that's going to distract you from when you're trying to focus on a task at hand. It's allowing your phone to be on, which we all have 24/7 nowadays, where your phone is on and you are allowing people to distract you, whether that's through text or WhatsApp, or essentially you're scrolling through social media, a huge distraction nowadays. Well, mainly because we are all on social media for our businesses. It's great. You have to be consistent. You have to be involved. You have to be on there. But then you can get sucked into the inevitable scroll, and you can go on there for a really good reason, good business reasons, but then get sucked into other people's lives. And it can be damaging, not only for your business from a distraction perspective, but I have touched on this in previous podcasts about it can generate really bad imposter syndrome. It can ruin the mindset that you're trying to build as a business owner. And generally, I just think it's not very good. That's not really a place I like to spend my time anyway. If anyone knows me or been around here for long enough, I really, really, really dislike social media, except I do understand the value that social media brings to a business, particularly from a brand awareness and advertising perspective, which is mostly free. So yeah, kind of thinking about the distractions in your life. I mean, if you work from home, for instance, I know most of you, if you're landscaping, you're obviously out on site, but if you're a designer and you're working from home, or if you are at home working in the office on the business and your office is at your house, you can get distracted with general family life and chores as well. So there's distractions everywhere. And what I was particularly interested when I was listening to this podcast, they did a very simple calculation. I wanted to share it with you because it really did impact on me and make me think about my day going forward. I listened to it while I was at the gym actually, and it made me think how I can change the next day, because obviously that day had come to an end. I was in the gym that evening and I thought, how can I utilize this advice? Because when I tell you exactly how long we can lose to distraction, it's quite scary, and it should really make you think and reflect on how you can reduce distractions in your business day. So they basically were saying that if you had 1 hour a day where you were being distracted, and you times that by 7 to create a week, then you times it by the 52 weeks a year, that's 364 hours a year that you are currently losing in your business and or your life. That equates to 45.5 days a year, which equals 6.5 weeks. Now imagine, most people spend more than an hour on activities that could be considered a distraction. And it literally is insane to think that if it was 2 hours a day that you spend distracted from your business, then that would be 12, 13 weeks a year. Now, we all say we haven't got enough time, we wish there was more time in the day. I think if you look at potentially distracting tasks, people, situations, you could grab that time back. You could grab 6.5 weeks minimum back in your life. And I'm all for a work-life balance. So whether that be you get 6.5 weeks more time doing things you love, such as your hobbies or your family life, or whether that's 6.5 weeks back focused on your business, it's an insane amount of time. And that one calculation really drilled it home that we really need to be mindful about where we're spending our time, because distractions can also come in the form of getting involved in people's dramas. So it's thinking about the people around you, it's thinking about how they impact your life and potentially how much distraction they cause. Now, we've all been there when someone's moaning and they're dragging you into their drama. Not only does it suck the energy out of you, it also it impacts on your day. So something that's happened in my life at the moment, my dad, he's not very well, self-inflicted, unfortunately. And essentially, I keep getting dragged into this drama. I mean, he lives with a lot of my family about 3 hours away from me. So it's not somewhere I can visit quickly. However, they do feel that they have to contact me and tell me how bad he is or what's happening, which is great. I need to be kept in the loop. But there's ultimately nothing I can do. And then when you receive a call like that, it distracts you. It takes you away from your focus. It takes your focus away from your business, your family, and your life. And essentially, it distracts you to the point where you end up doing things. Maybe you choose to put things off. I know I have. When I've had one of those calls, it's kind of impacted on my day. It's dropped my energy levels. It's made me, emotionally quite unstable, I suppose, because you're going from you're potentially happy, and then you allowed this distraction to come in and make you sad. But then it also impacts the effect you have on your day. So I know that's quite an extreme distraction, but essentially that's me not putting up boundaries and allowing people to call me when they like, and therefore I allow them to impact my day, my productivity, and essentially my business. Because the more we allow distractions to come in, And this includes things like TV. Do you get sucked into TV in an evening when actually you could be a little bit more productive and think about how better to spend your time? And don't get me wrong, I love a Netflix film or series, or most likely now Disney Plus, but essentially, and it's great to switch off and utilize that as downtime. But if you're watching 3 hours of TV a night, you could watch 2 hours of TV and spend 1 hour doing something really productive, whether that's working on your mindset as a business owner, whether that's being present with your family, whether that's doing a hobby that you love, or whether that's just working on your business while you've got no distraction of actually being in the business at that time. So I think distraction is really important. And, I need to reiterate, 6.5 weeks, just if you have an hour of distraction a day, so that's an hour of scrolling, it's insane. Or if that's, where your focus goes, it grows essentially. Yeah. So whatever you're focused on should grow. And unfortunately, with distraction, particularly say emails, for instance, you could be in the flow of writing content. Maybe you're updating your website, or you've decided you're going to start writing a blog once every 2 weeks, or you're going to create all your social, and then you'll get an email, and then you get distracted by that email. You come out of the flow of content creation, and then it's really hard to then get back into it. So be aware. How can you minimize distractions? How can you get those 6.5 weeks, a year back minimum? And I would suggest things such as setting clearer, more forceful boundaries around your time, because time is money and time is very precious. You don't get it back. So think about how you're spending your time. Is it the best way you could be spending it? Would you like to be spending it differently? And what sort of things that looks like? What does it look like to you? What does your time look like? Where is it best spent in your mind for you? Think about potentially switching the damn phone off, switching the email off when you're not looking at emails, and practicing focused time on things. So certainly chunking out your day, spending 60 minutes, say, on creating content, having a break, and then going through your emails maybe for 15 minutes, whatever it might be, but trying to reduce the time that the distractions occur on your important business life, things that we have to do. So thinking of that, turn the airplane mode on. I've done that once or twice, and God, it's been a blessing, because you don't get sucked into WhatsApp messages from people who haven't got work to do. I say that with love, but it's generally mums from the school. Or you don't get the email notifications if you just say, like, close your email while you're doing other tasks. So it's all about thinking about distraction and focus, because where you focus on grows. Now that leads me nicely into commitment, because I feel that when you get distracted, you feel like you're losing time. And when you're losing time, you can then feel quite rushed and pressured and ultimately overwhelmed. So you feel very overwhelmed, things are building up, you can't think clearly, and commitments in your diary start getting cancelled. Now, whether that's coaching calls, whether that's coming to group coaching, now, yes, I'm talking about TLC here, but these things can become not important, and you don't commit fully to what you've originally chosen. So thinking about your commitments now, not just, I'm talking about calls and group coaching, things like that, but ultimately, if you've made a commitment to your business and you've decided that having one-to-one calls, or coming to group coaching sessions, or attending that workshop, or completing that training course that you've bought, if you've committed to that, but because you've allowed distraction in your life, which has led to an overwhelm of, because you've got so much to do, so then you start falling back on your commitments, then you don't fully commit to your business and what you truly want to achieve, which is your goals. So it all links, really, because if we got rid of the distractions and focused our time on the actions we want to do to move our business and our lives forward, then we should be showing up for our commitments as well, because we won't feel that overwhelmed feeling where we feel we have to cancel things. And this can also seep into, your personal life. I remember, back a few years ago, when Mike was completely overwhelmed in the business was growing, we had a lot of staff, we had to get a lot of sales in. So he chose to put work above his social life, and essentially he just wouldn't commit to that side of, that side of life. And it's very important not to neglect areas of your life in favor of another one. We're all about building businesses, we're all about building the life we want, but I do not believe in that hustle mindset where you work, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week to create the life you want. What, when you're 60 and or 70 and you're too old to do anything? No, thank you. I'd rather live a life I want now and be able to earn money as well. And that's available to you. You've just got to think about it and think about what you want from life, get your mindset on track and move forward with important actions that are going to move the needle forward, not firefighting actions. But I digress. I will talk about that in another episode of the podcast. Essentially, it's important to double down on your commitments. So even when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, maybe you've got so much going on, you're cancelling meeting up with people, you're cancelling calls, you're cancelling going to anything because you're just too overwhelmed. That's because you've let distraction in and your focus has been taken away. So please bear that in mind. If you want things to change in your life and your business, you have to make a commitment, whether that be, like I said, to have coaching calls, or whether that's to complete a course, or whether that is just to spend some time in your personal life doing things that you enjoy rather than being sucked into the business. You need to stick to those commitments and commit to it fully. And to do that, let's deal with distractions. We are in a world, unfortunately and fortunately, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? It's great that we have all this technology. It's great that we have all these ways that we can build businesses online, offline. We can, talk to people all over the world, like I'm doing my VA, and it's really cool. But on the other side of the coin, it means that distractions are there 24/7 all of the time. All this technology breeds distraction, and sometimes it's quite nice to just sit, turn everything off, and just be left with your own thoughts to think about what you want out of life, what you want in business, and how you can minimize the distractions, 100% commit to the business and your goals and your dreams, and set some actions and, to get there. Because that's important. We have to do the action. We can think and dream and all of the rest, but we do have to take action, but the right action. So that's really all I wanted to cover this week in the podcast. I just found that calculation that I talked about just stuck in my mind, and I thought I had to share it, because when you start thinking like that, it's insane. When people say I don't have time to go to the gym, I'm like, really? Could you not? I used to sell gym memberships in my previous life, as some of you may know, and that was one of the things I used to say, like, okay, don't sit in front of the TV for an hour, come to the gym for an hour, then go home and sit in front of the TV. So it's all about what's important to you, really, because what's important to you will ultimately win out, ideally. So yes, that's cool. So over in TLC, I do have the brand new free masterclass. I am just putting the slides together now. I've got all the content ready, and then I need to record it, and then it will be dropped into your inbox if you get your name on the wait list. It's all about the 5 steps of creating a successful garden design and landscaping business. It will give you the plans. We're going to debunk myths, and I'm going to ultimately, ideally, in this one class, help you go from feeling stressed, lost, maybe even frustrated, to feeling supported, confident, and ultimately successful, knowing also that you can then, if you would like, become part of TLC to help you on that journey going forward. So yeah, go and check that out. The link will be in the show notes. It's called Discover. Also, the membership is currently open. I haven't really shouted about it because I've been quite busy. Obviously, we were at the show, and then I've been onboarding the new VA, and lots of other interesting things are going on at the moment with Aura and staffing. So that's an interesting one. I might bring that to the podcast in a week or so. But essentially, we've got 2 of our memberships open. That is Learn and Grow. Now, Learn is access to the library of TLC topics, templates, and all of that good. And we also have the Grow membership, which allows you to access that, plus all of the inspirational masterclasses we've run and the virtually limitless events and social media templates for 6 months. So a bundle of 6 months worth of social media templates you can use in your business straight away, and the all-important access to group coaching. So if you are looking for some support in your business, or you're looking to fully commit to your business but want some help, that could be the way to go. I am also taking applications for the Accelerate Mastermind. Now, this is going to be the only way to work one-to-one with me from now on going forward. So I am taking applications for the Accelerate Mastermind, which will be a small group of peers all developing and growing their businesses and building their businesses, and me. And it will be group session and one-to-one coaching as well. And also, don't forget, if you're at the very start of your journey, get your name on the wait list for when we reopen our course from the ground up. We are looking to relaunch that before the end of the year for cohort 2, which will be really exciting. So get your name on the wait list, go to thelandscapercircle.co.uk/launch, and all the information's there. So if you go to our website, it's changed a little bit, but have a little look around, see what suits you. If you've got any questions, do get in touch with me. Happy to have a free call to discuss what would suit you best. And if you've got any questions, always happy to have a call or drop me an email and I'll email you back. So I will leave you all the contact details in the show notes of this podcast, and follow us on Instagram at the Limitless Landscapers Podcast, and also the TLC one at the Landscapers Circle, to see what we're doing and see if we can support you in more ways in your business. That is why TLC exists. This is why the podcast exists. And this is essentially why I go live every Friday to chat to whoever wants to listen over on Instagram. I do that live on a Friday at 12. So go over there at the Landscapers Circle and come and listen to me chat over there. So that's it for this week. I am going to love you and leave you, and I will see you again next week. Have a great week, guys. Ciao for now.